Together.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, we're so fun. Oh.
That was it. Good job, Dennis. So we had we had a really good cornhole tournament. And it took us a little longer than what we thought, but we got through it. And Ronnie and Anthony were our winners after a lot of games. So next year, we're gonna take the signups for the cornhole tournament ahead of time. And we're gonna start it earlier because it went later than what we thought. And
Wes is on.
oh, is Wes on?
Yes.
Okay,
Can I have a
so
suggestion?
yes,
Yes.
A lot of people walking by the event were like, what is this? Not sure what this is. Because you seem to have some of these throughout the year, maybe a banner that says Downtown Realty Client Appreciation Event,
yeah, that's a good idea.
just that we can put up.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I second that.
Okay.
okay, so is Wes on?
Yes.
I am.
Okay,
Hold on.
I have a suggestion also for the cornhole tournament
oh,
And
what
that's
is it,
to make-
Wes?
to make Ronnie play with somebody else, like maybe you on her team.
So I'm the handicap, is that what you're saying?
I'm
Wes?
not saying that. I'm just saying, let's try to make it fair at least for everybody.
Well, I'll start practicing and then, yeah, I'll play with Ronnie and then that'll.
Okay.
Trouble. Okay, so,
Is that why you forfeited?
yeah, why did you forfeit, Wes?
That wasn't voluntary, by the way. Ronnie
Okay.
basically gave me 2 minutes to find a partner and then like cut me off.
I thought it was Cameron.
He was, but like when he couldn't do it, I had to find another partner. Jim Carson, I begged him, I even paid him. He took my money and then wouldn't do it.
Okay,
There weren't a lot of takers.
nobody wanted to be Wes's partner. That's been, maybe that's his.
No.
That's a theme in his life. Nobody wanted to be Wes's partner. Okay.
Roby had asked if he had the wrong shoes on.
Man, yeah, you probably had the wrong shoes on, you know, like for the corporate games, basketball, remember?
Oh, shots
That's
fired.
Okay,
I love you, Wes.
so we love you,
You guys are
Wes.
brutal.
So I wanted Wes to pop on just to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market, what rates are doing, and what you're thinking now that the election is over, what you're thinking. So take it away, Wes.
That one's fun, also a little tough. It's kind of strange, can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, so the market built in a Trump victory a month before, maybe even 6 to 8 weeks before the actual election. But as it started getting closer to the election, we noticed that the market started making some adjustments. There were some economic data coming out that is kind of suggesting that maybe the market isn't as bad, or the economy isn't as bad as what everybody thought it was going to be. Thus, maybe not as many rate cuts in 2025. So we kind of saw this earlier in 2024. We thought the Fed was going to cut rates. He didn't until the end of the year, and we saw higher interest rates. Well, that's what you're kind of seeing today. You know, FHA rates hit 4.5 for, I don't know, maybe a week or so. And, you know, they kind of peaked back to like 6.25. That's a pretty broad range of volatility for rates. And the consensus is kind of the same. Like, we're probably going to see volatility as Trump's policies start to come out. People are like, hey, is it going to be worse or is it going to be better? And then also the economic data. So there's not a lot of like consensus forecasting that is really going to be a driver of anything. I don't think, like, it's hard to say if we're going to be higher or lower next year and with rates. It's a coin flip, and now they're talking about taking even the next Fed cut off the table for December. So I would anticipate volatility. Make sure that you get into escrow. It probably makes some sense, maybe not today, but over the course of the next 30 to 45 days. Be wise, with advising your clients on getting the loans locked and not having the exposure to the volatility.
Wait, lock them before they're in escrow?
You can't lock them before.
No, I mean, after escrow, like you don't want volatility after a contract's accepted. You don't even really want it while they're looking, but unfortunately, we saw a lot of volatility going back the last 30 days. So, that we probably saw rates peak, a couple weeks ago. We've seen a little bit of rebound. FHA rates went from like 6.25 that's back into the 5s-ish, depending on credit score and things like that. So we've seen a little rebound, but there's not an expectation for rates to really dip down like they were back into the 4s anytime soon. There's nobody betting that that's going to happen. So don't look for that to be a huge pickup in, maybe getting the buyers to the table. I think it's just going to be the same stuff that you guys have been battling with, the old school, cutting every corner you can to get them the best deal you can.
Wes, can you lock rates before you have named the property?
You technically can. The only thing that's required to lock a rate is really the address. Now, you're not necessarily supposed to, but you technically could.
Well, what if you could just make up an address?
No, I mean, it has to be the address of the particular property. There are some like lock and shop options where basically you lock a rate and then you shop for the next 60 days. Those are options as well. The problem with those is the rates on those products are a little bit higher to begin with. So it's not like you get the standard rate. You do get, some of the risk associated with that. There's not really a secret way to do it. If you have a buyer that's rate sensitive, meaning like if the rate goes up, they don't qualify, you might want to consider, and you're making an offer, maybe locking the loan as they're making the offer, especially if you're going into like a long weekend or something with all the holidays coming up.
Okay,
So you said you can't
you can lock
without an address,
without an address, yes, you can.
Oh,
even if they don't buy that address?
He said it's a lock and look, I don't know.
Lock and drop.
We're gonna talk in 60 days.
Drop,
Yeah.
lock, and drop.
And it's a case by case, so it's on the client. So based off the client, you want to check with the lender, i.e. Wes, to determine what's best for the client.
You have to pay for
Yeah.
that front?
No, there's nothing required up front for that. There's not a cost for it. It's just like, so instead of maybe getting like a 5.75 rate, you're gonna get a 6% rate.
Hmm.
It may not be that much, but that's kind of how it works. Like the lender's assuming some of the risk for the next, because it's a 60-day shop, right? They let you shop for 60 and then give you 30 to close. So it's kind of an extended lock if you look at it that way.
What happens if you don't find a property within the 60 days?
Nothing. You start over.
Okay,
You just re-up it
just start over again.
for another 60?
Mhm.
You can, but at that point, I don't know that you're doing another lock and shop. I mean, it really kind of depends on what the market looks like.
And the buyer, you kind of want to know if your buyer's gonna get it. Quicker.
Yeah, depends on, how picky your buyer is, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, does anybody
Yeah,
else
but
have?
we had a nice little rundown. There was some expectation that the, rates were really gonna be good and some of that has subsided, guys. So rates are still decent. They're better than they were 3 and 4 months ago. So that's the good news. The rates are still better. They're just not as good as they were a month ago.
Does anybody have any questions for Wes?
It's
Oh, one
environment-
more recommendation for a party too next time. So on the ice cream, get waffle cones and then get like double and triple scoopers.
The little triple scoopers.
Really wanted a triple scoop.
Wes complained about the ice cream when I talked to you yesterday. So believe me, Jim and I know, we were up to our elbows in ice cream.
Shoes, shirts.
And then the leaves were falling and it was like, oh my God, because those ice cream scoopers that we thought we were so thrilled to have were the ones from Thrifties, but it looks like you just do it, but they don't. It either doesn't come out or it sticks in the thing. What?
You're
God.
supposed to twist and pull.
No, we tried that. That
Yeah.
doesn't work. Wes used to work at Thrifties apparently. And he said,
Yep.
For the lady. Yeah.
right, because it was a dating site for Wes at Thrifties. And
No,
he would twist, and he said you have to do it sideways. Right?
you don't turn it like,
Really.
No, you gotta go like sideways into it or something. I don't know,
Still has
but
the VHS tape of the training for it.
yeah, it's have the training for it.
I have the VCR.
Do you have the Thrifties training tape? No? All right.
Yeah, cause like we can't hear you.
He
now.
can't hear me now. Yeah, okay, thank you, Wes.
You got it.
So today I was watching social media. And a guy said, he's an agent. It's that guy that you like, Jared
James.
James.
Yeah.
He's so good. And he was talking about when people call their clients past clients.
Oh, yeah. I see them too.
Did you see what?
Barber shop goes once a week.
Yes, he goes, I go to the barber shop once a week. When I leave, the barber doesn't say, oh, there's my past client. He says, that's my current client. It's a mindset. You've got to treat those people like they're your clients. And when I close a deal, I tell my clients, I'm still your agent. I'm still your agent. You got to plant that seed, right?
Mhm.
Which also goes into the sphere of influence that you've got to make sure you're contacting them because you are still my client and I am still your agent. And I'm here to help you, whatever I can help you with, even though the deal's closed, I'm still your agent. And I thought that was so good when you talked about that, like people say, oh, that's just my past client. Like they're done with them. I'm not done with them, right? You have to have that mindset
And invite them to the get together.
and invite them to the get-togethers. Yes. Yes. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about listings. And I think key when you're getting listings is you have to go in with confidence. So important to have confidence, right? So especially with the market being the way it is, I think there's two things that are super important. You've got to have confidence and you better be right on your pricing. Because there is no room for error right now on pricing. And where that gets tricky is then you've got other agents coming in and telling them a higher price to get the listing, right? This is what they want to hear. We're here, realistic. This is where they want to hear it. So you've got to sell them on why it is so important to list, to price properly and what happens. And then it comes back to what we were talking about, Ronnie, exactly what to say. Could it be that they're giving you this price because they want the listing, right? This all kind of works together. So anyway,
or you see a lot of agents, RPR, price.
oh yeah, do not do RPR
Genius.
pricing. Don't use RPR or Zillow or Realtor.com to figure out what property is worth. I don't even look at it. And I might look at it after I've got my comps. I do not look at it before. I do not want to know what they think their property is worth. I want to go in it so blindly and so, neutral that I cannot be swayed anyway. Because if the client, sometimes you just know, they're like, oh, we think it's worth 7. Okay, let's see if we can get up to 7, right? And then, but I prefer not to know. And then go at it with that. But, so when you get the call for a listing, they always ask me on the phone, how much do you think the property is worth? And I will not tell them. I will not pull comps. I will not do anything until I see the property. Because you can really get yourself in a bind. If you pull comps based on these really nice homes that are selling, you tell them this price, you go out and see their house, and we got major problems out there. And then you're doing the moonwalk, right? You've already told them it's worth 4. But when you go out there and you see the condition, there's no it's, yeah, I didn't really, and then how do you get yourself out of it, right? So I would suggest not giving pricing, and it's a way to get your foot in the door. Cause I talked to an agent yesterday, he's like, I've got comps already, I'm like, yeah, don't do that. Just say, I need to give you 15 minutes, just wanna come and take a quick peek at the house. I just wanna be able to take a look around, have a quick, and they'll say, oh, it's not ready yet, I don't care. I just wanna see floor plan, amenities, I just wanna get an idea. And then I always throw something in, oh, you know, I had 4 kids, I know what it is, I know what it's like, life is like. And so downplay it, right? It's gonna be really fast, it's gonna be super easy. We're just gonna go in, you know, I'm gonna come in and take a quick peek. So you show up. And you show up, don't be late, that's not a good way to start, get there 5 minutes early, knock on the door, I always bring a notebook. Okay, and I know a lot of people don't like it. Not clients, but agents don't want to do it, but I like it, and clients appreciate it because I'm taking notes on stuff. It may be stuff that doesn't matter, like I'm never gonna, but they're telling me, right, when they're giving me the tour, they're walking around and they're saying, oh, and we've got brand new, you know, oh, we have this brand new baseboard, so I write down brand new baseboards, right? I just keep doing it because I've won listings when I was competing. So I took more time, the seller told me, I asked them, why did I get the listing? Because you took more time looking at the house and listening to what they were saying. And it'll help you with your marketing remarks too, because I always forget about things until I get out of there. You know, once I get out and then I'm doing marketing, I'm like, yeah, you have 2 sinks in the bathroom, you know, I'll write 2 sinks in the bathroom. You know, it's silly stuff, but it's not silly to the seller, right? It's important to the seller. Is it gonna affect your overall price? Probably not. But it is important to them that you're paying attention to what's going on in their house.
You snap a few pictures.
Sometimes I'll take my camera and snap a few pictures and I'll do, well, I also take my camera and snap a few pictures for an avid. And I'll do it while I'm walking through, like even the first, if I see someone click, they don't really know, right, what I'm taking pictures of, but I will do that too. But they like pictures, they like notes, they think that makes them feel good. So then once I've toured, then I sit down with them, right? And there's a listing presentation. So a lot of my business is referral, so I don't go through a listing presentation with my referral, but my repeat clients. Well, again, it comes back to knowing what their personality is. So once I figure out if they're very like wanting to know every single little thing, even if I've already dealt with them, I'll do a listing presentation, but the majority of the time I don't. But if it's a brand new person and I do a listing presentation, this is the one that I use. So starts out with sell with confidence, and it's got our logo. And then I do a success story. Mine's in a different order.
Okay, I'll jump to the success story.
Okay.
Who made this up for you?
We bought it off of Etsy.
Etsy. We got this off of Etsy. So the next thing I do is a success story. And I do, your happiness is our priority. And these are actual testimonials from my clients that I have put on here. So we start that out with a success story. Then I go on to let's sell your home. Why choose me? And then I just, this one. And it goes on with 24 years of experience in the real estate industry. I'm committed to providing you with unparalleled service and expertise. Okay, obviously some of you don't have 24 years of experience, right? So you're gonna have to go through. I did local market knowledge. All of you can do that. Client-centric approach, talks about your goals and priorities are the heart of my service. Negotiation expertise, you can put that in. So you can make this your own. You can find these on Etsy and change them. And they give
Chat GPT.
use chat to do it. Exactly, Jim. So that's the next thing I do. It's let's talk about your home. And on every page almost, it's got my signature, it's got the phone number, my email, it's got all the contact info. So then so obviously I've got this in the wrong order because this is how it goes, but whatever. My marketing techniques. And then I talk about what I do to market the home, exclusive events, video marketing, social media marketing, email marketing, network marketing, and then all of our other affiliates, well, Zillow, Trulia, Instagram, Facebook, down below. Where they have this as well. Then we talk about strategic pricing analysis. And that's the one I think that is the most important. And that's, I think, where you're gonna have a lot of conversation with people about, because that they always say to us, right? Oh, I want to leave room for negotiating. Yeah, but if you price it right, you don't need to leave room for negotiating. Buyers and agents know when homes are priced properly. They know. Agents know, we know, buyers know, especially if they're looking. That's when you get your cleanest offers. That's when you get your best offers. When it is priced properly. We all know what's happening when they're overpricing, especially now they're sitting. They're sitting, you're doing a price reduction, it's not helping. They're just sitting. So then at the end, what are buyers saying? Oh, what's wrong with this house? Why isn't it selling? We're doing price reductions. If you cannot get them to agree to your price, get them to agree to a price reduction in 2 weeks if you're not getting the activity that you want. And that's what I always tell them. Now look, okay, we'll try it. But in 2 weeks, I'm gonna know if your house is overpriced or not. And you have to very confidently tell them this. You can't be like, you've got to tell them with confidence. I will know within 2 weeks, because if we get a ton of showings and no offers, we're overpriced. If we get hardly any showings, we are overpriced. As long as our verbiage is good, our pictures are good, our sign is nice in the yard, it's price. It always comes down to price, and that's the hardest thing to get sellers to agree to. So when I sit down with them, I go at it like we're a team, right? We're a team. We're gonna sit down together, and I pull comps. And again, like if I'm doing a listing presentation, I will come back again with comps, right? Because this is the first time I've seen the home. I pull the comps. And I do a kind of an array of comps, as many as I can get. And a lot of times I'll throw out the very bottom and the very top, especially if it's an average or better than average home. I'll get rid of the really crappy ones, right? Or sometimes I'll take them to the sellers and I'll show them like, hey, because you want to start building this bracket of what this house is worth. Because this one is smaller than yours and older than yours, same neighborhood. Okay, we know yours is worth more than this, right? So it starts setting that expectation. And then this one is newer, bigger, has a pool, yours doesn't. We know yours isn't worth quite what this one is. And then I'll lay them out after we go over, like, what do you think? Where do you think your house lands? Like, which one do you think is closest to yours? Let them have a little bit of control, but show them, because it's not you saying what the comps are. It's the sales saying what the price is worth. So I like to bracket it like that, and then a lot of times they'll ask me, well, where do you think? Well, and then I'll tell them where I think it should list. If it was me, that's what I'll say. If it was me, I'll list, at 3, if I think that the range is 350 to 360, I'd like to list at 349. Let's get some momentum going, see if we can get some multiple offers. Don't always guarantee multiple offers, because it doesn't always happen. I always tell them that's the goal. That's not necessarily what's going to happen, especially because the market's been weird. Right? Okay. So try to get them to be involved with the pricing, so they feel like it's their idea, so they come to that conclusion. I tell them where I think, but then try and get them to see it too. Ask them, bring your computer, show the pictures. How do you think this compares with yours? See what they say. Some of them, I mean, they're not going, because a lot of times they'll tell you, oh, that one down the street, it sold for this, ours is way better. But you pull up the pictures and maybe it isn't way better. Okay. And then also understand how to make adjustments like an appraiser does. Because that's the other thing I tell my client. I adjust like an appraiser adjusts. And it gives a lot of clout to you as the agent to be like, oh, I'm the professional. I adjust like an appraiser adjusts. So I start saying, oh yeah, cool, they're going to give you this to this. I tell them what it's going to be. You know, they'll adjust this much per square foot. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that because sellers want to adjust for total square footage, right? If something's selling for $200 a square foot and there's a 1,500 square foot house and a 1,700 square foot house, they want to take that 200 square feet and times it by 200, which is $40,000. It's not how it goes. You take that 200 and adjust it by $65 a square foot. Right?
Do you at that time also go over like any things you notice like repair wise an appraiser might call? Do you do
Yeah,
that during?
I'll do that
time?
in a listing too. I'll talk about some things. And then this is where it gets tricky too, because then they want to know about what repairs should they do. Well, obviously we want to do lender required repairs, right? We want to do that. But then they want to do more sometimes, like, oh, should we gut the kitchen? And, you know, that's where it gets a little tricky. Because if something, they're not always gonna get their money's worth out of it. They're not always. You know, if the floor is just ridiculous and bad and gross, yeah, you probably wanna put flooring in. You start doing stuff, it's, you know, you start changing countertops, well, what if it's not what the buyers want? You know, what if they don't have great taste?
So you'll recommend carpet?
Well,
It's expensive and they may not get their money back.
yeah, I don't, not
It
always.
doesn't show very well with that carpet though.
I know. I mean, you can offer a credit. It's kind of what their situation is too. Cause some of them just don't have the money to
Yeah.
change carpet out or
Start
change
really
flooring.
cleaning it,
Or
see
they
how
want
it
so
comes
much
out.
stuff and so many kids that it's hard in there.
Yeah, and that's when the conversation is hard. That's the hard conversation. I think pricing is really tough. I think what's worse is telling people your house is dirty. And it's not gonna sell for this. So that's where it comes into talking about your house is now, this is Connie's words, your house is a commodity. It's not your home anymore. We've got to like, and bring up, like, I know Jim's brought this up about model homes. Like, when you go into a model home, what are you selling? You're selling the emotion, right? I know you love all this crap that your kids have made that's plastered all over the walls and everything, but other people, it just looks messy to them. So I try and get them to, I'll make suggestions and it's not always pleasant, but in the end, they'll choose what they want to do. Like, I'll tell them, make sure you clean all your baseboards, like you need to clean this, you know, you can have a cleaner come in. I know, again, you're the professional, right? So we can refer them to Ronnie's company. I know a good cleaning company. Oh, you know, we need the fence fixed. Okay, I have a handyman. All these people, I have a mover that can help you. You always want to come across as the professional, willing to help, but also there to get the job done, which is, I'm gonna tell you, like that listing poor Sharice had, you know, it was, you know, Sharice took me over there and I knew there was cameras and because Sharice like, there's cameras, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk openly, because it was okay for me to be the bad guy. I didn't want to mad at Sharice, but it was okay for me to be the bad guy, and I just said, they've got too much furniture in here, it's all pushed against the walls. They had pictures, like way up high, like, and it was, one room smelled like weed, the other one smelled like ass. It was bad. I know it was bad.
You
It was,
said that on the camera.
well, I said, I didn't say that, but I said, there's a definite odor in this room. And, you know, and Sharice had like windows open. I mean, it's not that she didn't.
One little candle.
They had a little tiny candle and a room that smelled like a 13-year-old boy. I don't know, it was bad. So, you know, you've got to somehow be able to tell them, right? Without being maybe quite that direct.
I get it's different too. So if somebody tells you, okay, my house is ready and it's clean, and you show up and it's really not,
I know.
like maybe there's still some dishes in the sink or.
Yeah.
How do you approach that?
Well, I tell them too, you need to have bathrooms and kitchens very clean. It's very important to people that bathrooms and kitchens are super, super clean. Bathrooms, like, keep those wipes underneath, and I'll tell them, I know you have kids, I know this is real life, but if you could just wipe off the mirror, you know, there's toothpaste all over the mirror, and you know, and just every day kind of give the toilet a little clean and wipe out the sink and wipe off the faucet. And you know, I know it's a pain, but it's it's reality.
It could make them several $1,000s.
It could make them several thousand more, because people don't wanna think about what goes on in a bathroom, right? They wanna look in and go, oh, it's got it's got a nice granite countertop, oh, everything, this is nice, they don't wanna think about that. Same thing with the kitchen, like. Stuff in the sink, shove it in your dishwasher if nothing else, and close the
Yeah,
dishwasher. Yeah, greasy stoves, garages I don't worry about, because I tell sellers, buyers expect to see a full garage when you're moving. Because if they have nowhere else to move stuff, it's like, let's start pre-packing, let's move some of this stuff, the house is gonna sell, and let's put it out in the garage. But it's hard, because sometimes people's furniture isn't great. But all you can do is just get it as absolutely clean as you can. You can't expect people to go out and buy all new furniture. They're not gonna do that.
Would you? Boxes, I think about that listing a lot, maybe I should have just brought some boxes over there.
That's a great idea.
Ninja Turtles.
That's a great idea. Like, here, I'm bringing you some boxes. You're gonna have to move. Let's start packing. It's like pre-packing. I think that conversation is harder. Staging is great, but Connie and I don't like to stage homes where people live in it. For obvious reasons, we don't want the furniture messed up. They're not gonna leave it that way. She'll do a redesign. Connie will come and do a redesign for you guys. And Connie's probably a little more straightforward than I am about telling them what they need to do. Because I know for a fact, this lady right here will not restyle or stage a dirty home. It will not happen, right, Connie?
Right. Nope. It doesn't benefit anybody. I usually will just say something like, do you want the as is value, or if we come in and do a little staging or restyling value? That's just, the way you sell a house and live in a house are two different things. It just makes a huge difference. First impression is huge. And it's a tough conversation. It is, but sometimes you also don't want a house that won't sell and it sits forever. So.
How do you handle that, Connie? How do you handle it? Like, if there is a lot of stuff, I mean, they've got kids, they've got pictures up here, rooms stink, like, what do you say? What's the conversation?
The easiest way to say it is that, you're gonna move anyway. You just mentioned that. So let's start packing. So if we get a 30-day escrow, then there's, panic has already been lifted. The other thing I tell them is, the kids can pick 10 toys or, something simple, and because that's always difficult, because usually the families have merged, the dining room's gone because it's a playroom. So the new buyer can't get a feel for the house. So if it's really, really bad, I just I deliver some boxes and say, let's start packing. And the kids need to pick some favorite toys, and everything else gets, packaged away, and let the kids help. Let them say, okay, you pick 10 toys and everything else. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, needs to be packed, because we're excited about our new house. Everybody's got to be involved. It's got to be a family event for sure. Because there's tears sometimes. There's tears, but if they want top dollar, everybody has to work together. I mean, we're going in business together. So we have to respect the process for sure.
Right.
I noticed sometimes we have to give a little funds in order for them to get moving, as soon as they sign that listing agreement, it's complimentary. You can customize your boxes online for super cheap and
Yep.
put your real estate logo on it. And then you give them 20 boxes with the listing agreement. I started the cleaning company, so those conversations won't be so awkward. It's a complimentary clean before and after. And then my employees know what to look for as far as I go in and I say, move all this shit in the garage. I just say that's part of it. But, as soon as they sign that listing agreement, just have a little, presentation ready, what's included, give them 20 boxes, and then that kind of gets them going. So sometimes you have to take the hit for $400 in order to get that listing to go.
That's right. That's very inexpensive to get. It's the cost of doing business. And I love that idea of bringing the boxes. I think it's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Biz box, Anna's dad. You can just.
It's like, you can get 100 boxes for $200.
See, and you put your logo on it.
Come with like the tape for them, their own,
And you get
their marker.
20 each, so like you're.
You do different packages, so yeah, you can get like a little one that's like all like seller pack, like they go everything you do, even like dish stuff, like they have everything. Or you can just do like,
And that
200.
goes with your.
They bring it over.
Yeah, if it's you can make your own package, what you want, like Anna has the gorilla moving out thing, so if she had an order, that's easy, right? I'll bring my husband's company over here and we'll clean it out. But when someone signed that contract with me, okay, here's our starter package for moving. Moving's very hard, we're gonna go through this together, but here's our starter package and you just include those boxes.
Yeah.
But they're really cool, and then it's less awkward, you're not bringing like Home Depot boxes or.
Right.
And they're like, oh, no.
And it's like, here, we're here as a team. I'm here to
Yeah.
make your life easier. I'm the professional. Let's make it less stressful.
But I know
You
the
eat the cost of the thing?
Just pay your girls.
I pay my girls, yeah, and they make a lot of money, but for me, it's worth it to have a clean house that shows very well.
It's gonna make the money.
Like you said, everyone's definition of clean is so different, and I was so traumatized by transaction by that, it made me start the cleaning company. Because on the phone, she thought her house was the most immaculate thing in Porterville, she's from New York, and I was like, all right, let's list it out here, I didn't even go look at it. And then I told Sarah, oh my God, what did I do, this is a hoarder house. And I was just.
Yeah.
But it,
So-
and it's sat on like.
And it's another way for us to be the professional, right? We're the professional, because also don't forget about the movers like Cross, who helps Connie and I. They, oh, you need a mover? I've got a mover for you. Doesn't mean you have to pick for everything, but you've got this list. You could include it in your package. You always want to be that go-to person, right? Even when they're your past client, right? You want to be the go-to for these. And they know, I have a lot of clients that call me, Sarah, who can help me with this? And I'm not even dealing with them anymore. It was years ago I sold them a house, but that means you're on their mind. So it's super important. So we talked about price. That's difficult. The harder one is dealing with dirty houses. That's probably even harder. We talked, what's next? Oh, listing your home. When I list your home, the listing will receive, and then I go through everything that it's going to talk about. And I do talk about that too. I pay for professional photography. We have a beautiful sign up. I make sure we have good verbiage. You're going to be on the MLS, you're going to be, and then throw it in there. You're going to be on Zillow, you're going to be on Realtor. Everybody is once they're on the MLS, but they don't know that. They don't know that. Makes it sound like you're doing more for them.
Do you charge your clients for saving or do you?
No, we charge. We charge.
Okay.
Yeah. We charge. My area of expertise, 7 easy curb appeal tips. These are all just things that photos and showing checklist. These are just things that are in this listing presentation, but I encourage everybody to go on Etsy or go somewhere and create one. Because if you can leave them with something, you can also do this as a pre-listing package. You can drop this off to them, right? It doesn't have to be at listing. It could be before, then get the appointment. You can use these for expireds. Drop it off, mail it to them, let them know what you do. I think it's so important, again, to go at it, feel confident about the comps. If you need help with comps, I will help you. But feel confident about them, because then you can present them. So when you're confident about that, when I go out to a listing, I always act like I've already got it. When we list it, this is what's gonna happen. It's already embedding in their mind, I'm gonna list this house. When we do this, this is how it's gonna happen. Oh, yeah, I'll bring this over. Oh, yeah, I've got, what you can do I've got a great moving company for you. So make sure you're confident with pricing. Don't let them bully you around with pricing. When they think it's astronomically high, I'll ask them, why do you, why do you think it's worth that much? Like, how are you getting to that number? It's okay to question them, because you've got to decide when they're that high on a price, do you want the listing or not? You've got to, and what comes into that is, why are they moving, right? If they're like, these are the ones I don't like. Oh, yeah, we thought we'd just throw it up here, it's $100 grand overpriced. We're just gonna see what happens. Yeah, and they're the ones that are calling you every other day, like, why don't we have any showings? Why, oh, I don't like that picture of the bathroom. you know, the last one from the end. Oh, I don't think you got the picture of the fountain in the backyard. They just start nitpicking you to death. And they're 100 grand overpriced. Those ones I don't like. If they're gonna be overpriced, make a deal with them that they're gonna, within 2 weeks or 30 days, they're gonna reduce that price and hold them to it. You know, can't make them, but encourage it. Okay. Anybody else, anybody have any questions or suggestions or ideas? Everybody's different. You're all gonna have your own style. That's my style.
What
But
about when you're coming up on an expired, like your expired date, and you kind of have to redo your listing presentations
Mhm.
then, yeah, I mean, like.
well, I think you should be communicating with clients once a week when you have a listing. Be proactive with it. Don't wait till they call you. Call them. That way you're already gearing up for it, right? They already know, because I've heard like sellers say, oh yeah, we didn't hear from them for 4 months, and then the listing was ready to expire, and then all of a sudden they started calling, right? So that leaves a nasty taste in people's mouth. Even if you are just calling to say there's nothing happening, it's better than ignoring. So I would say, call them once a week, set a day when you call your sellers. Give them, I give feedback as I go along, and I give very honest feedback, because for me, I didn't say it, the buyer said it. And if I like it when agents text me, and then I will copy it, send it over to them. Now, if it's really hurtful, I won't. I'll soften it a little bit, a little bit.
Or you make it harsher.
Yeah, but use that feedback. Yeah, this is what buyers are saying. It seems like this is the problem. And, you know, and I'll ask agents, and what do you think about price? Because that's the one that really gets them, right? They come back and go, yeah, we feel like the price. Well, where do you think it should be? And go ahead with that. Then at the end, I mean, they know it's coming up. You've been contacting them. I would try and, you know, just reiterate, you know, we can, that this is what is going on with the feedback. I think we're just still too high on our price. There's nothing wrong with your home. And again, remind them, buyers set price. We suggest buyers set it, not us. Right? Whatever they pay for something, want to pay is what it's worth. Anything else?
Nothing. I didn't realize how dirty it was, the cleaning company, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Everybody's taking the.
Yeah, so Ronnie's company is good. They'll go in, they'll get it clean for you, especially if you have a seller who maybe doesn't have a lot of money, but you feel like it's a good listing and it is gonna sell, pick the money. I mean, what is it, between 300 and 500, or is it more than that?
Yeah.
About 300 and 500. You know, don't buy them a home warranty. I buy people a home warranty. Well, if I'm paying for cleaning, I'm not gonna buy you a home warranty, right? I didn't tell them I was gonna buy them a home warranty, so they don't know anyway. So I can say, oh, I paid for that for you. They feel good when you do something like that.
I'd rather do that than give them a basket full of bullshit.
Right, exactly. I would rather pay for something than, I never give I don't give a closing gift.
That's great.
I don't give a basket. I don't give anything like that. I'd rather give them the boxes, give them cleaning, pay for a home warranty. I'd much rather do something like that. And when you buy a home warranty for a client, make sure they remember you bought that home warranty for
Oh,
them.
yeah.
So at the end of the deal, I always say to them, now don't forget, if you have a problem with the house, don't call your repairman. You gotta call the home warranty company that I paid for.
To get a step further to show them, we wanted to do it, the section here, so they can see the price.
Exactly, that's very smart. Yeah, so Sharice, it could be $600, yeah. I like it because it takes the burden off the seller, and I don't get that call, or I do, then I can say, oh, yeah, no, oh, that's why we have the home warranty in the call. Okay, anything else? Okay, so this is what we've got coming up. December the 2nd is the Visalia Christmas Parade. And we are going to have a potluck in Visalia for agents at 5 o'clock. Like, we're gonna do a taco bar. A taco bar potluck in Visalia at 5, December 2nd, it's a Monday. And we're gonna have a table set up outside and we're gonna have hot chocolate and candy and we're just gonna pass it out until people are,
So bring your family.
yeah, bring your family. So then the parade starts at 6:30 in Visalia. So the parade starts east, goes west down Main. We're right here on Conyer. It turns before it gets to us. So this is a learning curve for us. We don't know.
Medical lights or something now.
Well, I'm thinking, why can't we put our table right at the end of Main where they turn to go to Conyer?
If people gonna be sitting there.
They're gonna be sitting there. So we're gonna, or go maybe to the corner where the attorney's office is. It's not gonna be there. And we could probably put a table there, but we're gonna do something. We're gonna have hot chocolate.
I
We'll
think
have,
we do come down our street, cause those some people.
no, they come down the street, but they don't go past us. I've got the parade route. They turn left.
Yeah.
On
I'm gonna
Conyer.
leave with my kids before the parade starts. Not to. Just,
Yeah.
I'll come for the potluck with all my kids. And I'm eat it.
Wait, are there still people online?
Yes, there's still people on.
Can I say something really quick?
Yes.
Gary.
Hey, you guys, for all these events for realtors, I just wanna say Sarah and Jackie and all the team worked super hard to put this stuff on. We have over 100 agents and I think on Monday we had like 20 show up. That's like a 1 percentile, I'm not good at math, 2 percentile, 10 percentile.
No, it's 20%.
That is showing up to these events and it's not easy to do it. Like Sarah doesn't like to talk to people. My other half Shirley does not like to talk to people. And it's just so important that we support downtown and our clients and give these opportunities for them to go to the events. If you're not selling any real estate, then start going to these events because it is so important that we show up. It like is so disheartening to see only 10% of our agents are showing up. I understand some of you work and this is just part-time, but if you can, it is cringy and we're all so tired, but they're fun. You
It was
like-
fun. We had a
they're
good
so
time.
much fun.
We
That's
had a
all.
good time. Thank you, Ronnie. And yeah, yes, and thank you, Ronnie, for saying that, because obviously I do these, but I don't do it for myself because I don't really want to talk to anybody. Except I like our agents and I like a few of my clients. And then I really don't want to talk to anybody else, but that's why I positioned and well, I stood beside Jim while he scooped out the ice cream. And that gave me a purpose, right? And then you don't have to talk to people because people came up and talked to me for a while and then I get a customer. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta get ice cream. And it gave me a good reason. It's not that I don't like people. I don't like making small talk with people that I really don't have that much to talk about with. That's what's uncomfortable. So, but yeah, but it is fun. And it's a lot of social media presence. It's a lot of
You
pictures.
didn't even literally have to pass out popcorn, and even if I did, it was like, what, $50 or something?
Yes, even if
ridiculous.
you don't want to pass out the vouchers, don't be intimidated by having to pass it. Just come, get in the videos, take some pictures.
Engage, participate in the,
Yes.
tournament.
That's right. So Monday on the 2nd is Visalia. On the 5th of December, which is Thursday in Exeter, it's a ribbon cutting at 4. And then we're going on to an open house from 4 probably till 8. I don't know.
What do you mean an open house?
We're gonna have an open house.
You understand that's Porterville's Christmas parade that night.
December 5th.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, I never participate in Porterville's Christmas parade. And we don't typically do anything here, but Ronnie's doing a grazing board. And we're doing it in conjunction with what they're doing in Exeter, which is that shopping night, which is December the 5th. So all the shops are open, so that's why we're doing it. That is the 4th. Yeah, we got a busy week that week.
My husband's gonna hate me that week.
So the 2nd is Visalia, the 4th is installation, right? And the 5th is the Exeter grand opening. And it'll be fun. Ronnie's gonna do a grazing board. We're gonna do some hot chocolate, some cocoa, some desserts and Exeter's fun. 4.
Okay, and before,
Jackie, is there even any room for the installation or are we full?
I think we're full.
For the what?
For the dinner? You guys are full? Order?
Thanks for coming.
Is it too big to order another table?
Well, we're not ordering. the
I'm not
table
ordering
because
another
I
table.
get stuck with it if people don't.
Unless I get 8 people paying, there's no other
If
table.
8 people want to come in, then I'll buy a table. What?
75.
It's worth it though.
Yeah.
It's fun, but the problem for us, see, because MLS does, or the board that we used to be able to buy 1 or 2 tickets, right? Well, they don't wanna do that anymore, so we have to buy a whole table. And then Jackie and I, the last day, everybody
People back
cancels
up.
on us, and then I'm
Don't pay.
stuck with, you know,
But doesn't have a table, like not going, but wanna go. 1, 2, 3, on bus your end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you going, Jared? You're not, are you going?
Chris is already on the table.
So,
Sorry, booked you.
5, 6, sure, 5.
find 3 and then I'll buy the table.
Mhm.
Okay,
And if you back out, it comes out of your next escrow.
you
So
can't buy individual
Can't buy.
tickets.
Can't buy.
No,
You have to buy a table.
Apparently they did, but you could say it's wherever they sent you. So
oh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know. You gotta call them on us and find out. But as far as I know, I'm not booking another trip until I have 8 people committed with fingers.
installing the board.
Yeah, so
Next
you
year's-
call in the president and.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Right? So we gotta go support her.
Yes, I'll be on the board in 2025.
Connie's on it, yeah. So it's fun day because it starts, oh, you have to take a toy, right? Because they do a
Or
toy
blanket.
drive. And so we take a toy and then they do no host bar. And then they have a really nice lunch and then they do a whole program. And a lot of times it's really funny. They'll do music, they do all kinds of stuff.
And then an after party.
And then they have an after party.
Which is there this year, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
that's how it's usually
Yeah,
been.
so it's fun. It's
Where's
worth
the cellar door?
Yeah.
It's only been that way like 3 years.
It starts at 11.
But prior to that, it's always been,
So always is not the correct term to use.
no,
It's a
but it
daytime
used to
event.
always be.
Yeah, you're home by.
It changes all the time.
Yeah,
Before
it
that,
changes all the time.
okay,
Yeah.
and before that, we need food drive signups. Anybody
Yeah.
that wants to sign up for the food drive, I need to know by this Friday. Should I send it to next week?
No, we need to know by Friday. Well, okay, by Wednesday of next week, who wants to do the food drive? The ones where we go out and take the bags, because look, this is the other problem we've had. Jackie figures out all the neighborhoods and then we don't get people who want to participate and then Jackie's scrambling. So we're not gonna do that this year. We want to know who wants to participate and then we're going to pull enough neighborhoods to accommodate the agents. And if you did it last year and you want your same neighborhood last year, we're gonna do that.
We will honor that.
Try to go and drop off foods.
No,
No.
no, we go and leave bags and then on there it says, this is our downtown's annual food drive. If you would like to participate, fill this bag and leave it on your porch on this
such-
day between this time, and then we go back and pick them up. We write down the addresses, put your business card on it, we write down the addresses, and when you come back, we bring the food, and then you can write thank you cards, get them in your database, that kind of thing. Yeah, okay, so there we got one.
Ideally 2 to 3 people. Okay, we got Sharice, Leroy wants to be in.
What is it again?
Well, we're trying to figure it out.
Well, last time it was there in the park, one of them.
Yeah, I think it might.
So our game plan was, drop off bags after Thanksgiving. So the week after Thanksgiving, and then the week after installation, all of those days of the 6th is when, we'll do the pickups the
And-
following week.
And so Pam has an enclosed trailer that we can use because the moving van is full of all all our staging stuff. There's no way we can use the moving van. Connie and I have nowhere to put the stuff. So Pam does have an enclosed trailer. And if we can book the pickups like for 2 hours and stagger them, if we can get it done, how many days does it normally take us, Jackie?
We do about 4 days worth.
I would like to condense it into 2.
Yeah.
And that way we could borrow the trailer and
Porterville and Visalia,
Mhm.
scheduled Visalia one day, scheduled Porterville.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know about taking the trailer.
Well,
selling,
So
but
homeless.
no, we take it to here and then we take it to Pat and
Oh.
they distribute it. Yeah.
I can use my card.
The thing is, we want it all in a trailer, so it's all in one
no, but
spot.
they can bring they do pickups in the car and then we just come and load
Okay,
up
and
the
load it
trailer.
in the trailer.
Yeah.
That'll work. That'll work.
Yeah, because realistically, having the trailer going to all the neighborhoods would be probably hard, but some.
I hope
We do
that
anywhere
services-
from 2, 4, 6, 6 neighborhoods to Plus Visalia.
What is the drop off and pick up? Really?
The week of the week after the other events, so the week after the 6th, whatever those days are. I don't have those memorized.
Okay, and the 9th to the 13th. And then the last thing, guys, is the bountiful boxes, is the new one that I talked about, where this is the one we are collecting money. We're looking for donations, either from ourselves or whatever you can get it. It goes to, it goes to a group who puts the boxes, who puts the food together, right? So I did a video about bountiful boxes. Did we post it,
It's
Jen?
getting posted today.
We're gonna post it today. I am donating $1,000 from the brokerage, and I'm gonna give $100 for every escrow that I close. It's very short notice this year. They didn't let us know until very short notice. But we're gonna start next year, and we're gonna see. It's absolutely voluntary. You guys don't have to do it, but it's going. What happens is law enforcement are finding these families that they are going to donate this food to. So law enforcement is such a negative in some of these kids' lives, but they're going to be bringing them food and bringing them boxes, because the weeks, they're not necessarily doing it for Christmas. They're doing it for the weeks of Christmas when kids are out of school and they're not getting school lunches. So it's not really like a Christmas dinner. It's more of like food to sustain them during these holidays and these tough times. So if anybody is interested in that, let me know. I have one agent that's doing $50 an escrow. I'm doing 100. I have another one who's doing 100. So if anybody wants to participate, like I said, it's short notice this year, but then we're going to start it up again in January and have a larger pool for next year.
January for our work.
January 18th.
January 18th is going to be our award ceremony. I think it's gonna be around like, I think they're doing it on the 19th. She said they'll take money up till the 18th. Oh, next month, December.
The liquor and that is route.
All right, we're good.
No, and then toy drive. Toys we need before December 6th, ideally. So the toys go to Porterville, Women's Shelter, as well as the Parenting Network. They have an event in which they invite the families where they have the foster kids and stuff. And they come out and they give out their gifts at their Grinchmas event.
Grinchmas.
They should call foster Christmas Grinchmas.
Well, it's something, they have the Grinch there. I don't know what it's called, but to me, it's
Are we
Grinchmas.
gonna do what? Go to Santa?
No. With the list of all these events.
I know, like.
And then,
And there's too many places that do photos with Santa.
Yes.
And then we compete, and then people, oh, we already had ours taken, you know.
Well, Carl is so excited. He's like, are the two broker gonna do the, every time into the shop? And anyone who really gets on the lab.
Is he Santa?
If anyone wants, if you, distract more wrestling coaches in here and said they're doing donations, business name and logo on
I do like, I'm just handing out all my provision kits to everybody in the holidays. I'm like, here you go.
Yeah.
there. Yes.
Yeah.
okay, so. Take a picture, those are the upcoming events. Save the dates. Sign up, let me know.
All right. Phew.
Are you sending all that out to us for as reminders?
I'm gonna try to.
Text? Yeah, I do. I just wanna make sure I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I need those.
So many people just ignore it, right?
I do
Anyway, so
not
it's like,
love it.
yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Everybody should be looking at downtown in the know every day. Because that's what we do downtown in the know, and then people are like, oh, I had no idea. Oh, yeah, because you're not looking at.
Figure it out, and then you brought it back.
Go
Put it in his car.
Yeah, well, just look at downtown in the know.
I do. That's the only reason I'm on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, guys, thank you.